With the MP Bros, the MP Bros, the MP Bros, the MP Bros. Learn something.
And there we go, baby. We're live. Mikey, we are back in the building, my brother. So, let me get my microphone in here because I noticed my sound has not been as crisp. So here we are, my man. Episode 6, MP Bros. My brother, how are you?
Everything's great, man. Can't have a bad day, right? How are you?
Can't have a bad day. It's a mindset. Did you know that?
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit last time. It's something I say, but embodying it is a little bit more challenging.
You must be a father. Let's go to the print stuff right now. All right, man. So where is it that we're going today? I know you love establishing the culture of the call early on.
Yeah. I mean, look, we talked about this a little bit. I think it's I don't remember the exact topic, like the actual phrase, but about it's why make it a problem if it's not a problem, right? And helping new hires and experienced agents kind of make sure that we're doing the things that need to be doing, keep our mindset right, and being productive. Is that kind of encompassing? Is there anything you want to add to that?
I was cheating, and people can't tell, but I was pulling it out because I remember writing it, but not. I remember. I'm really good at that too. Like you'll say it. It'll take me 17 times to get it right, and I can still sell insurance.
That's right.
But yeah, why reflect on a problem that's not a problem? Like when I heard somebody say that, it just like sparked up on me. I was just like, that is so true. We go through that so often, and we come up in our own minds with what's going to be the objection before it's never even gotten there. I'll never forget when Crystal and I first got pregnant. And oh, look, she's coming to say hi. Hey, babe, you're live on the podcast.
Hi, Crystal.
There she goes. All right. And so when we first got pregnant, like our first baby, clearly unexperienced, and she got a call from the doctor's office, and oh my god, they left a voicemail. Oh my god, they left a voicemail. How come they didn't want to talk to her? How come they haven't called back? What's going on? What are they going to tell me? Am I no longer pregnant? Like, let's freak out. And I was just like, well, let's back up here. Let's maybe call them back and find out what it is. They were just confirming the appointment.
Exactly.
But we were making something out of nothing. And this is common for us to run into in not just insurance business, but I think in business and in life. Period.
Yes. 100%. And, I say something a lot of the times that's in this same kind of scope here, which is like, I don't believe that there are any objections, just questions. You know what I mean? And that mindset of like, they're not actually giving me an objection. They just have a question about it, which, look, it's fair. I think what we're talking about is important and very serious stuff. So I think it's fair. Ask as many questions as you want. I don't believe it's an objection. I believe they're all questions.
And I love that because your mindset's so strong that you've been able to get to that, right? Because everyone is going to say, hey, objection handling. That's what we're taught. That's how it comes up. How do I handle objections? What objections?
Right. You get objection.
He's just asking, like he's telling you maybe why not, why he doesn't want it. He's verbalizing where he is, but like it may or may not be an objection, and you're going to handle it the way that you choose to handle it. But if you view it as it not being an objection and you phrase it into just a question, magic's going to happen. And absolutely. I love that I get to do this with you on a daily basis. And I know now you're here. I'm poking you right now. But the reason why is because I we get to learn from each other, and I obviously get to learn a lot from you, and I appreciative of that. And I'm saying this because the whole mindset of it's not an objection, it's just a question, like it came up today. And this guy, he's like, wait, and just starts like, he's like, so you're calling me to go over the mortgage protection plan. So if I die, my wife can have the loan paid off. And I was ready to like get defensive, be like, well, yeah, sir. And all I said was, yeah, you got it pretty good. That's it. Okay, call me later. All right, we'll call you later. That's exactly the outcome that we wanted.
I like to joke with people about that stuff too. I'd be like, man, you know this stuff better than I do. I feel like you want to come join me, sell some insurance. Awesome. People like that. But I think it's also about how we respond, right? Not just in like what we're saying, but in how we're saying it, right? Because if you're thinking it's an objection, I now, like, if I think that someone is giving me like a legitimate objection, like that they don't want to buy it and here's why they're saying it, they don't think they want to protect their family that way, my tonality may be more defensive. I probably am going to talk faster and talk more and say too much and almost kind of talk myself out of the ability to help them, right? Whereas with a question, my tonality is very different. It's more like, let's talk about this. And I'm more level headed. I'm speaking slower and I'm using less words. And that's going to be received better, you know, even if they are actually giving me like what people may call an objection. The way that we respond is going to, you know, dictate the conversation, right? Like we are, what was the quote I heard yesterday? That we are the thermostat and they are the thermometer, right? So we set the temperature and they're just going to tune in to wherever we set it for to see where it's at. So even though, so if we're saying that we're at this, our temperature is calm, cool, collected, and explaining the value, no matter where they are at in terms of their questioning, they're going to end up meeting us where we are at because we are the ones that are the thermostat. Does that make any sense? Was that a terrible analogy?
No, it's a great analogy. It's making me think way too much though, but it's a really good analogy. I'm like picturing the thermostat and where I'm at, and gauge and freezing. Yeah, man. But it makes sense. You know, it completely lines up. You're bringing up quotes, and I get my inspiration like everybody else does from Instagram. And on Instagram, I came across a quote that said, people are looking for a leader not to idolize but to relate with, you know. And I feel like that's really where we're trying to step into. You know, I don't want you to look at Mike and say, oh my God, he writes $1 million a year. Look at Brandon Hall. Oh my God, he did $1.5 million a year. Look at Luis Moyano. Oh my God, he's so good looking. Nothing like that, right? No, I can write some business too. But nothing like that. We want to be able to relate. We want to be able to know that, you know what, we go through those struggles. And I'm saying that now because I make myself as relatable as possible. Like I don't have all the answers. I don't know all the right or the best ways of doing it. I'm just so consistent with it that I get so many at bats that just because I go up there so many times, eventually it goes good. You know, like I'm the guy that will get the wrong answers and I'll put my hand up again. And that kid in class, like, I just want to talk. Let me up there. Let me do it again, man. It's awesome. And as you do that, you get better.
100%. I think I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I don't want to forget this point because you triggered it for me. But I think it's an important distinction too, whether you're a new agent or an experienced agent, any line of business that you're in, forget about just insurance. You don't have to know all the answers. And I think a lot of times people, especially when they come into this business, because like it's overwhelming the amount of information that we're taking in. Like you're drinking water from a fire hose. It's so much. But at the same time, we don't need all of the answers, right? There's so much power. Like we don't want to be paralyzed by analysis, right? No paralysis by analysis. Like so many times people can say, ask me a question. And it's like, you know, I got to be honest with you. I don't know the answer to that. And I don't want to give you the wrong information. So when we're done, I'll get that information for you and I will follow up with you and let you know. And now here's the kicker. Here's the important part. You have to actually follow up. You have to do what you say you're going to do. But the power, the credibility, and the relationship that builds from you saying, I don't know the answer and I don't want to give you the wrong information. They're like, oh my gosh, thank you. Like the last thing I want to do is feel like I'm being sold and you lying to me. So I appreciate you saying that. And it does wonders for the appointment and for the relationship. You know, have you had some of that happen to you?
All the time, especially in the beginning. Like right now, it's so repetitive, you know, like we're going to be able to find that answer either really quick if we don't know, or we're going to be able to shift to a solution on the spot that we know it's going to work, you know, and if it doesn't, hey, I'm going to move on to the next one. You know, like I might be able to get back to you, but like if you're throwing me that you have all these complications and everything is going on with you and, you know, I'm looking for the right solution, I might just be spinning my wheels. Right. And by now I know that. So I can take that time and go and hunt for some more business, right? Or I can just put all this effort into working for that. So it all depends on what you're looking to do, right? Who the client is. If it's a lead, hey, you're more than welcome to take your time, go through it. And if you're new, use that time to learn. But like I always keep saying, don't keep bumping into that same wall. Learn from your mistakes, right? Learn what you're learning or what's going on with that lessonness of that one person. And either you're not going to do it again, or you're going to now know the answer of, hey, this 3 medications are coming up. Perfect example. Yesterday, the super nice guy, he goes, I'm very healthy. I only take 4 medications for high blood pressure. Only high blood pressure? Yeah. New agent would be like, it's only high blood pressure. No big deal. Go ahead and give him the world. He can have anything, you know.
Give him coverage. You're good.
Give me the coverage. But I said, hell, hold on a second. I know that if anyone takes more than 3 medications with the same thing, they might not be able to qualify. So I went into our handy dandy toolkit and plugged in the medications exactly as they are, right? I asked them, and you should ask them too, are any of those medications dual medications that have 2 medications in one? Because that counts as 2 meds, not 1 med, right? So I plugged that in, and although it's just high blood pressure, and he's got it controlled well with 4 medications, he didn't qualify for a thing on the term side. Doesn't matter his age, doesn't matter his height and weight. It's irrelevant. If he's not qualifying in anything else here, well, I'm not going to go out of my way to try to make a circles fit into square peg. It's not going to happen, right? So I'm going to go ahead, and when on the fence,
final expense. Shout out to Paul Bowman.
That's right.
But you know, it's such a great point though, because these people, the clients that we're helping, are not doctors. Well, some of them are, but most of them are not doctors, right? And so we need to be the experts. And because 99% of the business we write is simplified issue, there's no blood work. So like if you're telling me that you're on 4 blood pressure medications and one of them was told you that it's for blood pressure, but it's Entresto, which is a congestive heart failure medication, that's going to show up as congestive heart failure. I get people all the time that are like, I take Trelegy for asthma. Well, Trelegy is a COPD medication, right? So that regardless of what you're actually using it for, because these are simplified issue products, it's about what is it actually used for. You may not have COPD. Your doctor may say Trelegy is what's best for you for your asthma, but it's going to pull as COPD for simplified issue. Same people who like, there's this huge wave of people taking Ozempic to lose weight. Ozempic, guys, is a diabetes medication. So if you're talking about insurance, Ozempic is not for weight loss. Ozempic is for diabetes. And so it will impact accordingly. So like you're saying, we need to be the experts here. We need to be the one asking the questions, but that's the beauty of the toolkit. Right? We don't have to know. It gives us the answer so we can sound like we're experts when we don't really know much of anything.
Dude, but you know who else is not a doctor? You or me, right?
Don't
and listen to him talking. I'm ready to let him diagnose me anything.
Right.
And the reason why is because he's taken that toolkit and he's just done it so many times that he's able to see, hey, when I click Entresto, it's asking me, is it congestive heart failure? Well, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Dude, how many times is it going to take for you to realize that Entresto is not just for high blood pressure? It's for like a severe case of high blood pressure. And if you submit that again, you're going to get a decline or a graded policy again. You know, just don't do it, or definitely don't go term with that, man.
Yeah.
But absolutely. Mike, there's one thing that you left me thinking with last week, bro. And like literally at lose sleep and sweating over this. I'm like, how does Mike book so many appointments? Here's what's cool about this. I didn't lose sleep over it. But
I'm
Mike,
pretty sure that you book more appointments than I do right now anyway.
No, dude. No, I work hard for those things, and you do too, right? Yeah. And you're such a not a machine, because you're clearly not a machine. Like you're a human just like I am, but you're so well disciplined. And
what we talked about on the last podcast, discipline.
Yeah, right? But the way that we at this company that Mike and I are both together in, the leads work. Your A's are brand new, then your B's are 11 days old to 30 days. Your C's are going to be 31 days to 60 days, and they go down in price. A B lead's only $7.50. Like we talked about that. That was like a brand new lead for me in my previous companies, right? Only 11 days old, $7.50. Dude, sign me up for as many.
Baby.
Yeah, give them to me. And every now and then there might not be as many available, and then that's where you go to your C leads. 100 leads for $100, $4 a pop. Let's roll. Give me those. But we were just talking before this, and Mike was telling me, he's like, hey, I was only able to get C leads, and I booked up like 17 appointments from that, right? And this happens. He only buys either his, was it 30 or 20 A's that you got?
30, yeah, 30.
30, right? He'll supplement and add some 30, some A's here and there, but he's conscious that he wants to keep his return on investment as strong as possible. So buying a less expensive lead is clearly going to lead to more dials, more time on the phone, but way better return on the sales. And with that, you were still able to book, would you say 17 or 14 appointments for today? Like, or you had 21 today.
21, yeah.
21 appointments. So tell me a little bit about that magic, man. What's the approach into working this deeper discounted bonus leads?
Sure. It's not magic. I mean, let me start with that. It really is discipline and kind of like grit, if you will. Like for me, and look, let me preface this by saying that I am a little bit of an extremist. Okay. Like
yes, I knew it.
I go hard. Like when I go at something, it's 150%. Like I got no other speed. And if you ever met my son, you know where he gets it from, because that dude is crazy. But look, here's what I'll say about it. Okay. Before I start dialing, I go to the bathroom. Okay. I mean that because I don't want to get up once I start dialing. I'm going to get up when my goal is hit or when my time is up. And if my time is up and my goal is not hit, guess what? There's more dialings happening after the training. I will hit my goal. Okay. So first things first, I go to the bathroom. I want to be able to sit here and do it. And then it is pace, 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 pace. It is volume. That's the only way you're going to hit your goal is volume, right? So, and especially like you were talking about, as you go from an A lead to a B lead to a C lead, there's different conversion rates, both in terms of the number of people that are going to answer and the number of people that are going to set appointments that you actually speak to. So if I'm calling C leads, you have to do more volume to set more appointments. It's really that simple. So it's all pace for me, right? I am not spending more than probably 3 to 5 seconds max between my phone calls. 3 to 5 seconds. I have my leads up. I'm ready to dial them. I call them. They don't answer. I call back. While it is ringing the second time, I have my text message copied and pasted. So as soon as I hear that voicemail pick up, send. And the text is sent before the voicemail is left. So now when the voicemail is done, I hang up and I dial the next lead. I'm not hanging up, copying and pasting the text, sending it, opening my next lead, dialing, because even though you're talking about that maybe like a 10, 15, 20 second different per call, which doesn't sound like that much, when you add up 15 or 20 seconds over 150 calls over a 3-hour period,
10,
what's 20 times? It's lots of minutes, which could result in lots of appointments. So it's just volume. Again, there's no magic to this business. I mean, Luis, you write a ton of business, a quality business. And look, you're an amazing dude. You're charismatic. You're awesome. You know your stuff. But neither you or I are special. We work hard, we're disciplined, and we understand the volume game. That is literally it. So again, it's not magic. It's simply grit. But you do the same thing, man. What are your thoughts? Like, how do you make it work? You said 15 plus appointments every single day.
Yeah, I'm at 17 for today. I had 17 yesterday. Oh, yes, character building day. But you know what? We're doing it, right? So I didn't like my results yesterday from working my B leads. And it happens. I've had days like this in the past. I get pissed off, and then I wake up in the morning and get right back at it, right? Because I'm that emotional character that we spoke about, and I love that about myself. Shout out to Brad Inman again, Mr. Even keel the whole time. It's a beautiful thing how he does it, but he's the same way as you as setting his appointments. It's just machine-like automation. Like get moving, get through it. And the more that you're able to do that, the less time you're actually going to spend dialing. Like ring, ding, ding. Like again, the little light bulb, have that go up. The more that you can dial faster, the less time you'll spend waiting around on the phones, the more time you'll be able to sit back and relax. Probably not me or Mike, but do something else, right?
More time you have to do to dedicate other things that your business needs to grow. Service clients.
Yeah, it doesn't stop, man. It doesn't stop, and it's a beautiful thing because we're in a business that is just continuously going. Like you're saying, like we might have a bad day. I had a bad day yesterday. I can't wait to knock it out the park today. But if I have a bad day today, I can't wait to knock it out the park the very next day. You know, I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna call Mike like, dude, I can't sell insurance anymore. I don't know what happened. You know, I need to get the leads you're getting, bro, because mine were broken. I don't know what happened. You know,
special leads, right?
Yeah, same thing. And then I'm gonna have a great day. I'm gonna sell 6 policies one day. I'm gonna call Mike. I'll be like, bro, did I beat you today? And he's gonna say no, and I'm still gonna feel good about myself.
But like that, but it's an important point, right? We were talking about this before the call as well, which is that one of the hard things to accept about this business is that more appointments don't necessarily equal more sales. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But consistency is king, right? Like you're saying, you might have a bad day yesterday with 17 appointments, and then a same 17 appointment day today might yield you 6+ sales. I mean, because you're just going to continue to do the work, continue to do the pitch, you know, the way that works for you and is authentic to you and adds value to them. And some days it works and some days it doesn't. We can't sell anybody on this stuff. We show them how it works and they either want it or they don't.
And just looking back, like I'm still having the best month I've had so far. You know, I'm still
like with your bad day yesterday.
Exactly, right. I've issued paid $38,000 already for the month. Like, dude, I need a 6-month vacation already.
Right.
You know, it's not like that, guys. It's just that we exceed and we expect to be able to achieve the most every day. Right. And if that's an expectation that you're going to give yourself, that's great. And I'm going to take the same exact point to this new agents that are just getting started and dialing. And Mike's working with somebody. I'm working with somebody right now. And if you're watching this, take this personal because we're just trying to help you guys, right? 100%. Like we're just trying to help. And you are anyone watching this, if you have a conversation with your best friend, if you talk about something that you feel that you're like the subject matter expert in, we probably can't get you to shut up. Right? Like you're just going to go off and you're going to sound so confident, so well delivered. But the moment you get to this, to just schedule an appointment, yeah, I'm calling because, come on, this is so simple. And if we have to back it down to almost just saying like, stop being you and be somebody else, take that as constructive criticism. But watch exactly what that person on the Zoom call is doing and mimic it. Right? Follow the exact script the way it's going to, and just memorize it so well that you sat in front of the mirror and you read the script 13 times and said it to yourself to that where you have it engraved. So when you get on the phone, it's just another person on the other line.
You know, it's such a great point, Luis, because it's two things that you're talking about. First is the practice, right? Of like, I think people shoot themselves in the foot when they just want to get on and start dialing. And there are a ton of benefits to that. But you have to know what you're saying, right? Because you can dial all you want, but if you sound like, hi, this is Michael getting back to you for the mortgage with veterans, it sounds robotic. It sounds inauthentic. Like people are going to be like, I don't want to talk to this dude. Like I got stuff going on, right? There's a little bit of personality, but you can be more calm and relaxed about it when it is ingrained in when it's just like it's flowing through you because you know it so well. You've practiced it so many times. You've listened to yourself after you've recorded yourself. It's like memorizing a song. Record yourself, listen to it over and over and over again, and it's amazing how you can learn the lyrics. The other thing you said, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, so I was going to tell you, I'm 41 years old. I just bought a house for $300,000 through Rocket Mortgage. Ready? Call me. Ring, ring, ring. Hello.
Hey, Luis, good morning. This is Michael getting back to you regarding the $300,000 loan with Rocket for 123 Main Street. How's it going?
I'm good, Mike. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. Hey, look, I was just giving you a ring because I know last week you had received the notification that was sent over in the mail regarding the mortgage protection. And I'm the one assigned to review that with you because I'm the senior field underwriter here in Collier County. So they just got me doing it with you by phone when I'm in the office this afternoon, anywhere between 1 and 5. Just need to know when's a good time to give you a ring back. It should be about a 10-minute phone call.
What are we going over?
We're going to review the mortgage protection. You had gotten that notification last week. Again, I'm the one assigned just to review it with you, and whatever you choose to do with that information from there is totally up to you.
Okay, well, I don't get off work till about 4 or so.
Cool. I can squeeze you in here, maybe like would between 4:30 and 5 work? Is that feasible?
I should be home by then.
Perfect. If you could, Luis, just give me maybe that half hour grace period. I'm helping a bunch of people before then. I certainly don't want to rush anyone through it. So like 4:30, 5 o'clock, you said that's okay?
Yeah, Mike, go ahead. Give me a call at that time.
Yeah. And is this going to be the best phone number to reach you at that time?
It's my only one.
Sounds great. All right. And when I call, Luis, I'll call from this same 443 number, so you know it's me. So if you want to plug me into your phone there, Luis, again, my name is Michael. In the meantime, have a good morning. I'll talk to you about 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Oh, that's awesome. Great. Thank you so much. Was that hard?
Up in a role play. What just
No,
happened?
I tricked you. I gave you all my
setup.
But I wanted to do that like so randomly and so into it that you were like shocked almost that what was happening. But you, no matter what, just went right into it so smoothly because it's what you say 100 times every single morning, right? Every single morning is exactly what you say, and it just came back to you like second nature. But to anyone that's setting appointments, it's just like, hey, here's your $1 million producer, and it doesn't sound much different than what everybody else is saying. It's going to be commonly the same things. He did say 3 things that I really noticed. He told me about 4:30. He's going to squeeze me in. He's busy. He told me the time 3 different times, and he verified my phone number and told me his phone number. That whole conversation lasted maybe 60 seconds.
Yeah, it was probably about a minute. But this is weird. This is what we were. I'm seeing my daughter's mermaid pen pop up. But
my ADD's been kicking in the whole time. Like, is that a mermaid? Is that a mermaid?
It is. Yeah. Shout out to my daughter here for giving me a wonderful pen. But no, it's something we were talking about before the call. Here is that people come in, new agents come in, and they hear you do this kind of stuff. They hear me do this kind of stuff, and they're like, okay, that's working. Here's guys that are producing at a high level that are helping a ton of people. I want to do that. And it's like, okay, here's what you say. And then they change it up. They don't match the pace, the tonality, the verbiage, the script. And you said this before the call, and I think it is such an incredible way to put it. Be an actor. All right. Pretend that I am Michael, the top producer at Unitrust Financial Group. Like, let me pretend to be that guy. Okay. And so when I get into character, here's what my character says. And I learned the script from you because I've watched you. So I'm not doing what Michael, the husband, the father, the guy from Baltimore, Maryland, I'm not doing what he does. I'm doing what Michael, the Unitrust insurance agent, does. And that getting into that character and just reciting the script, that is such an amazing way to frame it so that people can kind of get out of their own head and understand, like, okay, here's what I need to do to be successful until I can figure out what works for me authentically. Until you figure that out, do what works for everyone else.
You like that, right?
I love it.
It's so true. Like, forget about you for a second, because your goal is to sell insurance. Well, he sells a lot of insurance. That guy sells of insurance. You don't sell a lot of insurance yet. So I said it last time, you laughed. Be like Mike, right? Mm-hmm. You want to be a great basketball player, you be like Mike, be like Michael Jordan, be like LeBron James, whoever it is that you want to look up to. You're going to mimic their moves. You're going to try your best. And guess what? Like, if I try to be Michael Jordan, well, my 5'6" Spanish individual self might be lacking that skill to get up to the hoop and smack it. So as much as I want to be him, I might be a little bit limited. But I am not limited in selling insurance. I am not limited in dialing, and not limited in talking to as many people as I possibly can to close 25% of them. Dude, that means if I have 100 pitches for the month, I'm going to sell 25 policies. If I sell 25 policies, on average, it's going to be around $25,000, right? That's a great month for many people. But now what's making Michael more successful than any of those people doing 100 presentations a month is that he wants to do 100 presentations a week.
Exactly.
That's it. Right?
It ain't magic. It's volume.
It ain't magic. It's volume. Forget about the old phrase we were going with. That's the new one. It ain't magic. It's volume.
It really is, though. And it also goes back to what we were talking about in terms of, like, I believe that I'm going to screw this up, but like inside of, or they say there's this analogy of like, there's 2 wolves. Okay. One wolf is like this vicious killer, right? Who's neglectful, or I shouldn't say neglectful, but is like all these suffering states that Tony Robbins talks about, anxious and angry and upset. And then there's this other wolf, right? Who's positive, who's upbeat, who believes in success, right? And we both have both of these wolves inside of us. And you know how you know which one you're going to be? It's the one that you feed, right? The one that you feed. So if you're going to believe that this is never going to work, these are C leads, man. These people already talk to other people. They're 60 days old. Like, these leads suck. Then every single time someone says, oh, I already talked to someone else, I'm not interested in this, then you're feeding that wolf, right? Whereas the alternative, C leads are amazing. These are people that called in. They completed the call less than 2 months ago. I don't care if they've talked to anyone else. I know what I need to say and how to add value to them. And these people are going to give me a chance. And every time you set an appointment, then you're feeding that wolf, right? So this is where, why make a problem when there's not a problem? What you believe happens. Perception is reality, right?
I love that, bro. That was inspiring, dude. Like, it's so good and it's so true, right? It's so true. It's what we put our focus on grows, where energy goes, right? Focus goes, energy flows. I still can't get it. But I used to use the same analogy because I loved it, right? Like, this person goes to a seminar, and the company seminar, the company yearly, the company training, whatever it is, you go out there and then you're just like, I've seen all this before. They're not going to say anything I haven't heard before. And I'm going to leave here and I'm still going to have my shitty sales weeks. And then it's just going to be like, nothing but the same. Or you could be that agent that walks in and be like, dude, last time I came, this guy Mike came on and he started talking about like how he was doing it. And I left here just like pumped up, I forgot a little bit about it, but I can't wait to see who else is going to come in today and what they might be able to refresh me on. Like, which one of those two agents do you think is going to be able to get more value and walk out with more to be able to bring to the table?
Absolutely.
It's all about perspective.
Which
right?
wolf are you feeding, man? Grayson Hughes. Grayson is, he's someone that we're both underneath and both admire greatly. And he tells a story about when he first started at a different IMO. He went to their national convention and he sat there and he could have gone in and been like, I know how to sell. I think he was like one of the top salesmen at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, which is a great training program. And he is amazing with people. He's a hard ass worker. Like, Grayson's the man. So he could have come in there and be like, I'm not going to learn anything about sales here. Like, maybe I'll meet some people. It is what it is. And then I'll come in and I'll do my thing. But he didn't. He sat down and he took books worth of notes, books and books and books worth of notes. And when the conference ended, he was still sitting there trying to catch up with all the stuff he wanted to get out of his head and into this paper that he could review later. And guess what? That's a Hall of Fame producer his first year. He's feeding that wolf. His perception is, I'm going to get something out of this that I can apply to grow my business, my finances, improve my life in that area. And what do you know? He did it.
Man, that's so cool. Grayson's impressive. He really is. And we talked about this at another episode. Like, just such a chill demeanor. Like, Mike and I are both like, we're both A's, and not that he's not an A, but he's also like, he's an alpha without a doubt. Yeah. But he's just chill. Like, I feel like when he sees me, he's just like, okay, has to take a deep breath. Like, here comes Luis. A lot of energy coming my way. I'm going to receive it and welcome it. But he's just a calm guy. Yeah. And he's a giant too, but he's just a calm guy. And with that, it shows that all types of personalities can sell a lot of insurance. I just did an interview. I did an interview last week. We interviewed Maria Proyos. Maria is 23 years old. She came from being an admin for Chris Photo. When Chris came over to Unitrust, he's like, listen, I love you, but like, I don't really think I need an admin with how things are structured here, but I'll help you get started and get going. She's like, I got this. And went off, dude. Yeah. 23 years old. I mean, and Maria, you see her through your social media and all that. She's living her best life, right? She's traveling. Yeah. Going to Spain, going to Italy. She said she's got a trip coming up to going to Greece. And like, that's what I wish I would have been doing at 23, dude. You and I were dancing at bar mitzvahs, right?
And we're making that kind of money.
And we're not making that kind of money. And she, I think, is number 2 for the month as far as like submit business. I think this month it said something like 66,000. It was just like unbelievable. But why I'm saying that is because that's inspiring, right? And she took the steps. And she gathered and she learned. And while she was an admin, she just soaked it all in. And I'm not saying go be an admin. I'm saying go and soak it in. We make it so accessible. and all the trainings are so good. Like this podcast, you guys, lucky you. You have two top producers that just love talking insurance and geek out with you guys because we have this passion inside of us for it, right? Yeah. Mike and I are both looking to grow teams. Like, we're not going to lie about it. We want to be able to attract as many individuals as possible that are watching this, and we want to have this venue, this path that we have chosen be the path that's also going to help you have a change in your life, in your career, right? Mike would have never thought I'm going to be able to sell over $1 million in insurance. I would have never thought I consistently do around $400,000 every year. We talk about this being doctor money. Sometimes it can be more than doctors, and doctors have to work hard, right? Like, the amount of time they have to put into their craft, it's a lot. It's exhausting. It's overwhelming. And here it doesn't have to be, and you can still expect the same outcome. So if you're watching, soak it in, take it all in. I would literally want to watch every single training that has been listed, especially if I'm brand new.
Oh yeah. And you know, it's funny that you say that, because at Unitrust, the resources and systems and leads are so good that if you're in the top 40 at Unitrust, you are making more money than a doctor. You know what I mean? Like, I've helped doctors get protection, and I'm like, okay, what's your monthly mortgage payment look like? And they tell me, and in my head, I'm like, I can't believe I'm making more money than a doctor. Like, it's crazy to me. Like, I don't have a college degree. I am not a smart dude. I just talk a lot. You know what I mean? So like, it's an incredible, it's an incredible setup. So like, again, but we just get in, we put in the work, we have the right mindset, we're disciplined, and we have the volume, and the rest of the stuff can come incredibly easy if you're willing to be humble. That you don't know better. We don't know better than Brandon Hall. This dude produces more than any other insurance agent in the country. You're going to tell me that being in here for, 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, you're going to tell me that you know more about how to successfully sell insurance than this guy does? You don't. No way. So just copy his approach and watch the success. You just got to be humble enough to do it.
It's there for everyone to just say, like, what's he doing? Let me copy it, right? Let me go ahead and bust out my best. I don't know. Who's your favorite actor?
Oh my God, that is such a loaded question. Let's just say Leonardo DiCaprio.
That's exactly what I was thinking of too.
Yeah, we're so right here.
Right there. Oh my God! He's right. Yeah, like, just bust, and like, he's like so well versed, like he can do so much with his roles, right? And like, literally become Leonardo DiCaprio, and now you're playing the role of Brandon Hall.
That's right.
What does Brandon Hall do? Watch all his trainings, and you will find out. Brandon, nicest guy in the world. Also, soft-spoken but smart. Will never let anyone walk all over him. Polite but to the point. Yep. And he always knows to just bring it right back and gets tons of closes, but works harder than most people do. Right? Mm-hmm. You're not. I mean, like, what makes you think? Oh, here's the other quote that I read today that I wrote down. Right? One question that changed my life. When a top producing salesperson asked me, why do you expect my results with your work ethic? After you implement that and think about that and you put the changes in, that could be life-changing for you.
It's so powerful. It really is. I don't know if you follow or have heard of Gary Vaynerchuk. He's got an incredibly successful media company, talks about buying the New York Jets. Like, I like a lot of Gary's stuff. And he does these like conversations with business owners, and the business owners want their employees to care as much about the business as the owner does. And he's like, that's not realistic. They're not reaping the same rewards as you are. You know what I mean? So it's like, how can you expect someone to care as much as you do when they don't make as much as you do, when they're not invested as much as you are? So it's the same thing here, where it's like, you can't expect to have the success that I have if you don't do the same work and the same care and passion that I have. It doesn't align.
Bro, I thought you were going to take that point, which is a fantastic point, somewhere else.
Lead us there, baby.
Where I thought you were going with it is that every single business owner cares about their business. But let's say that you bring me into this. I now have the opportunity to care about my business just as much as you do, right? Because I have nothing capping me from being able to make exactly the same amount or more than you do. And I get to be able to bless somebody else with that same opportunity and guide them. They should care as much as the business as I do and as you do, and it should trickle down because there's nothing more valuable than being your own boss.
Oh my gosh.
If you're gonna work this hard to make somebody else money, you should work double as hard to make yourself money, right?
Oh, absolutely. And it triggers something else for me that I think is really cool about this insurance industry in general, which is like we have such a phenomenal culture that we've built, like within Chris and Grace's team and within Unitrust as a whole, where we can be each other's cheerleaders. You know what I mean? Because if you're working in a W-2 job, you're working for someone else, and there's a promotion opportunity. Me, you, and probably 3 other people are all competing for that one position. So like I almost need you to not be successful in order for me to be successful and achieve my goals. Right.
Yeah.
That's why that setup is so broken. That's why the culture in typical, traditional W-2 jobs are so toxic. Whereas with here, we're calling different people, we're calling different states, we have different goals. Like your ability to be successful has no impact on my ability to be successful and hit my goals. So we can just genuinely be excited. When I can see Luis, sold 6 applications today, I'm like, that is my boy. I am so happy for him. And I get to celebrate that because whether you did 6, 12, or none in a day does not impact what I did that day. And so if I didn't do it that day, that's on me. But we can still just celebrate each other because we have this culture where your success does not negatively impact mine. And that's special.
It's so true. Like we were talking before this, Mike told me, hey man, yesterday was a great day. I sold 9 applications. I don't get jealous. I'm super jealous, but in a positive way, right? But in a positive way, I'm more happy. Like, dude, that's amazing. It's the same exact leads that I'm buying, the same exact ones that I'm getting that you were able to get 9. So let me go ahead and sharpen my tools to do exactly what Mike does. Let me get my Leonardo DiCaprio on and be more like Mike. I'm just like a walking cliche here, bro. Just to be able to get those results, right? And again, like I need to be able to get off my emotional roller coaster and just be more level-headed and just onto the next, onto the next, onto the next. Mike has taught me disappointments. If you're not selling, you want to be out the door within 15 minutes tops.
Oh yeah.
Right? You want to be out the door. Like, listen, here's what it is. Here's how we're offering. Let me answer your questions because they're not rebuttals or not objections. Let me answer your questions. If the questions that I answer lead to you saying, hey, yeah, I think option number 2 is the one that makes more sense for me financially, I'm already in the application filling it out. It should not be more than 5 to 10 minutes from there. You better have good internet, man.
I
don't.
And we also need to make sure the people that we're working with, there's some slow ups with some technological stuff here where like I'll talk to some people and they're like, I can't figure out how to open a text message while we're on a phone call. How do I do that? And I'm like, oh my God, this 35-minute call just turned into an hour. I'm like, this is stressing me out. But at the same time, taking a breath and understanding that we're doing this for the right reasons, right? If I need to, I spent an hour on a call with someone yesterday. You know what I mean? That's 2 or 3 appointments for me normally, but the person needed the help. They wanted the insurance. They needed to be able to protect their family. And they were so grateful when we finished up. They're like, who cares if I was late to the other appointments? I still got to help I got to help 9 people yesterday. Like we just said, like that's insane. So if one person needed extra help to make sure that they and their families are protected, if we're doing this for the right reasons, then you don't want to rush someone through it. It doesn't benefit anybody.
And if you guys, we're not counting Mike's money, but I just want you to know that the opportunity is there. 9 applications equals out to $9,000 to $10,000 for the week, for the day. Holy shit, Mike! For the day, like that's unbelievable.
That was 4 months worth of income for me in a W-2 job.
Dude, I just did some fact checking, right? So the reality of this business is that we're in year 3 of Unitrust, I believe, right? And it's only going to get better. Like we're going to keep on getting more Mikes, more Killers, more Noels, more more people that just are going to be good at this. And
Yep.
there's nothing stopping that from possibly being you, right? That's going to come in here and just revolutionize and put all your sales skills that you learned in Xerox and are bringing it here, and you'll be able to like take it to another level. But you said the top 40 people are going to make money like some doctors, right? I looked it up. Number 40 last year, issue paid, not submitted. This actually deposits $161,000 for number 40.
Number
Number
40.
35, $167,000 issue paid. Number 30, 193. 25, 235. Number 20, 278. Like, this is unbelievable, right? Number 15 for the year, 328. Like, dude.
Here's what I would ask the people watching this that are like, or do I get into insurance? Am I new to insurance? Like, I don't know if I can do it. Like, I would challenge you to ask yourself, why not me? Why not me? Do you know how many people come into this business? I knew nothing about insurance. Best year of my life financially ever in my first year. You have people coming from construction, from car sales, from, warehouse work, doctors, nurses. Like, your background doesn't matter. You can do it. Why not me? Especially here, where things are like so laid out for you that my 6-year-old son, he could do this. I'm telling you, ask yourself, why not me? And if you are having trouble believing in yourself, call Luis or call me, and we'll tell you why it should be you and why it can be you. Because there is nothing special about anybody doing it here. You can do it.
Dude, just have a little confidence in yourself. Just know that you're no different than anyone else. Don't add things that don't need to be added on. Talking to Chris, one of the first advice he gave me, he goes, minimize it. Make it a game into how less you can say.
Yeah.
And you'll find, and out of the coaching that we're doing to these agents, right? One of them is, well, I find out that, this policy is going to be the one that's going to be the best for you, and it's going to be able to do all this. I'm like, where does it say that on the script? Like, there's no need to go into all this explanation. Right. You want to say, hey, here's your policy, here's the company, here's the amount. You'll get your paperwork. If you have any questions, call me. Move on to the next. Like, let's go ahead and maximize your time frame to be able to learn as much as possible, right? And then we know what we haven't even touched on yet, the opportunity that we truly have here for building and how the company helps us with recruiting and the system that we have in place that we implement, and is going to be able to help new agents come into the business with the opportunity to already start growing a business.
Yeah, might be a good conversation for another day.
Yeah, that's the next one for sure, man. That's somebody write that down and remind us, please. Hey, man, appreciate you every single time. I have so much fun doing this.
Quick 47 minutes.
It's so fast, like if we didn't have to go eat some food before we have our long day full of appointments, we'd probably be here for another hour with you guys.
100%.
And loving it too. You want to leave off with anything, bud?
No, man, this is just great as always, guys. Questions, thoughts, extra explanations, reach out. You got our emails right at the bottom here. Feel free to use them. Again, Luis is in particular, like, humble dude, amazing to talk to. Reach out. We are here to help. Don't be afraid. It could be a conversation that changes your life.
Yeah. And even just to help us, if you're watching this, if you enjoy the content, give it a like, give it a share, put it in front of somebody else, right? We're telling you that we've had life-changing experiences through insurance, and we came here from not knowing a thing about insurance. I didn't even want to buy insurance. I probably, my 20s, drove my car with no insurance. Like, it was just like that, And now I sell it. I love it, and I'm great at it. So we can take anybody else and make them great at it too. With that, we're out. MP Bros.
Yes.
Later.
With the MP Bros, the MP Bros, the MP Bros, the MP Bros. Learn something.